him. If you look up the songs of Solomon, which is a parable about the one that would come, the word Muhammadin is mentioned in it.
There are Muslims and their scholars. Some of them believe that Bible did predicted the coming of Prophet Muhammad. They usually point out to three main passages such as Songs of Solomon chapter 5 verse 16 and John chapter 16 verse 5 to verse 11. So let's try to look at each of these more closely and to see what they really say. So welcome guys to my channel. If you are new here, please do subscribe and share with your fellow being, and don't forget to leave your feedback in the comment section. So let's try to learn. Although I have made many videos regarding this topic, so you guys can check out on my channel. Our first passage says, prophet like Moses. In this passage, Moses tells the Israelite that God will raise up a prophet like him from among their own brothers. God also warns them to stay away from false prophet who don't speak the truth. Now, some of the Muslims or most of the Muslims think that this is about Prophet Muhammad, but the Bible gives us more context. Therefore, in the New Testament, the people who knew the Old Testament best, such as the Jewish religious leader, they were expecting a prophet based on this topic. When John the Baptist came preaching, some wonder if he was that prophet, but John said clearly he was not. He was preaching for the way for someone greater. So now the question remains, who was that greater one? Is that Jesus? Now, his followers like Philip in John chapter 1 verse 45 believed Jesus was the prophet Moses predicted or wrote about after Jesus' resurrection. He explained how the Old Testament pointed to him. See Luke chapter 24 verse 27. Now, Peter also preached in Acts chapter 3 verse 22 to 23 that Jesus is the prophet Moses predicted about, and Stephen confirmed the same in Acts chapter 7 verse 37. So based on the Bible itself, the prophet like Moses is clearly Jesus and not Prophet Muhammad.
Why doesn't Christianity have Prophet Muhammad in it?
Well, it does.
It does.
Jesus Christ said, I have many things to say unto thee, but you cannot bear them now. For he, when the Spirit of truth shall...
Second passage, Songs of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 16, altogether lovely. Some people point to this verse because the Hebrew word sounds similar to Prophet Muhammad, but this is a big misunderstanding of how Hebrew works. This is an expressive word that means lovely or desirable, and it's not a name, and it's used in many other places in the Old Testament with no connection to Prophet Muhammad. Therefore, the context here is a romantic, a woman describing her lover. So it's a stretch to say this verse is a prophecy about a future prophet. It just doesn't fit. Our third passage, John chapter 16 verse 5 to 11, the coming of the Holy Counselor. In this passage, Jesus talks about the Counselor, also translated as helper or comforter, who will come after he goes away. Therefore, some Muslims believe this is about Prophet Muhammad, but if you keep reading, Jesus explains exactly who the Counselor is. Now, in John chapter 14 verse 26, Jesus says, but the Counselor, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name. So, the Counselor is the Holy Spirit and not a human being. And the Holy Spirit came at Pentecost, Acts chapter 2, and continue to guide and convict people just as Jesus said. Final thoughts on this video. When we look at these passages in their full context, it becomes clear. First, prophet like Moses is Jesus, not Prophet Muhammad. Second, the word Muhammadin is a Hebrew objective, not a name, and it doesn't refer to Prophet Muhammad. The third counselor Jesus promised is the Holy Spirit and not a future prophet. Therefore, the Bible doesn't predict the coming of Prophet Muhammad. In fact, some verses like Matthew chapter 24 verse 11 warns us that many false prophets will come and lead people astray if someone teaches that things that go against the message of Jesus. Therefore, we need to be very conscious about this. So I hope you guys like this video. Please do subscribe and share with your fellow beings. And don't forget to leave your feedback in the comment section, and many more episodes are coming up.